The studio lights were bright, brighter than Christopher Meloni remembered. It had been years since his last visit to Live, and everything seemed a little more polished, a little more caffeinated, and definitely louder. The audience, packed and buzzing, erupted the moment he walked on stage. He waved, smiled that signature grin, and took a seat next to Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, the show's resident power couple. The conversation started effortlessly, flowing from his upcoming projects to nostalgic tales from his Law & Order, SVU days. And then, it happened. A voice, sharp and sudden, sliced through the laughter like a rogue fire alarm. "Do you really work out naked like they say, Chris?" There was a beat, a pause too heavy to be casual. Meloni blinked, chuckled, and leaned slightly forward. The audience tensed, anticipating a witty comeback. But before he could speak, Kelly Ripa leaned forward, her expression shifting ever so slightly from bubbly to razor-sharp. "We'll handle the questions," she said, eyes narrowing just a bit, her smile intact but now edged with unmistakable authority. The audience gasped, laughed nervously. Someone dropped a water bottle. Mark shot a side eye in the direction of the audience member, who was now trying to melt into their chair. Christopher Meloni looked at Kelly and broke into a laugh. "Whoa," he said, pointing playfully between her and the stunned guest. "Do I need to separate you two?" Kelly grinned, her smile now fully returned to daytime TV brightness. "Nah," she said, "but if you need someone to interrogate suspects, Chris, you just found your partner." The crowd roared. Backstage, the moment replayed like a viral TikTok in every corner of the production office. "Did you see her face?" one crew member whispered, clutching a half-eaten bagel. "She went full Jersey mom mode. Like, not my kid, not today." Another was already cutting clips for social media. Within the hour, #we'll handle their questions was trending on X, formerly Twitter. Memes flooded the internet. One had Kelly edited into an SVU scene, badge and all, captioned, "In the daytime talk world, the audience is represented by two separate but equally important groups." Even Christopher Meloni joined in, posting a picture of himself in a mock police lineup holding a sign that read, "Still not answering questions without Kelly's permission." But the incident lingered in Kelly's mind. After the show, in the calm of her dressing room, she sipped a green smoothie and reflected. It wasn't the question itself that had rubbed her the wrong way, it was the entitlement of it. The way some audience members, emboldened by the illusion of intimacy that daytime TV creates, felt they had license to say anything, ask anything. She wasn't mad at the question. Meloni could handle himself, obviously, but there was something about the tone. The disruption, the intrusion. Live wasn't just a casual talk show. It was a dance, spontaneous, sure, but choreographed in invisible ways. Hosts led, guests followed. The audience, they were crucial, but they were guests, too. This wasn't a roast. It wasn't Reddit armor. It was a stage, and like any stage, it demanded a rhythm, a decorum. And today, someone tried to cut the line. 2 days later, a clip of the incident was played on The View, sparking a roundtable debate. Well, should audience members be allowed to ask spontaneous questions? Joy Behar posed. Whoopi sighed. If they were invited to. But you don't just shout at people like you're at a Yankees game. Sunny Hostin nodded. There's a boundary, and Kelly Ripa is a pro. She handled it. Meanwhile, on TikTok, Gen Z creators stitched the clip with everything from reenactments to astrological hot takes. "She's a Scorpio rising, you can tell," one creator said while applying lip gloss. "That kind of energy is protective, but also terrifying if you're on the wrong side of it." A week later, Kelly addressed it lightly on air. "You know, sometimes when you're in the middle of a show, and someone decides they're the host, well, you've got to remind them who's holding the cue cards." Mark laughed. "And who has the mic?" "Exactly," Kelly said. "This isn't Jeopardy. You don't buzz in." The audience chuckled, applause bubbling up like carbonated approval. "And look," she added, holding up her hands in faux surrender, "we love you. We really do. But let us do our jobs. Trust me, if you had a question worth asking, we probably already planned to ask it." Later that month, Christopher Meloni returned for a surprise segment. He walked on stage with a mock security badge clipped to his leather jacket. Kelly greeted him with a smirk. Detective Stabler, I presume. Agent of Audience Control, he replied. Temporary assignment. Heard you had a rogue element last time. She laughed. Don't worry, we've reinforced the perimeter. Armed with cue cards, and a strict talking to during the commercial break. The bit was silly, but it landed, drawing more cheers and a standing ovation than most guests ever get. More importantly, it put the incident to bed. Kind of, because something deeper had shifted. There was a renewed respect. A subtle but real shift in the air. Kelly Ripa, long underestimated by critics who saw her as just another blonde host in high heels, had once again reminded everyone that she was no lightweight. She'd spent decades mastering a space that looks easy until you try it. Navigating egos, live audiences, last-minute changes, co-host swaps, national crises, technical glitches, all while making it look effortless. And in that one sharp moment, with 5 simple words, "We'll handle the questions," she reminded the world of what professionals look like. Back online, the memes kept coming. One had Kelly superimposed over Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings, slamming down a staff, "You shall not ask." Another showed her in a courtroom, yelling, "Objection," badgering the celebrity. And then there was the merch. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tote bags that read, in elegant serif font, "We'll handle the questions." When asked about the sudden boom in catchphrase fame, Kelly just smiled. "Hey," she said, "if reminding people to take turns makes me a meme, I'll take it." She paused. "Just don't ask me to do it naked." The studio roared.